Hello, everybody again. Hope everybody's doing well. Picking up on the Bible readings. The Song of Songs, which is just something written by Solomon. It's got a preface here, which I'll read it. Explain it. It's only 5 pages total, so 7 chapters, so we'll probably do it in 2 readings. Song of Songs. Traditional wedding celebrations in the Middle East cast the bride and groom in the roles of a king and his queen. The festivities include love songs and also special songs that praise the physical beauty of the bride or the handsomeness of the groom. The custom has a long history and is reflected in the anthology of wedding songs we know as the Song of Songs. So it's a collection of wedding songs. The individual songs may have been used repeatedly in marriage celebrations and eventually gathered together, just as the psalms were collected after years of use in worship. The title Solomon's Song of Songs can be taken to mean that King Solomon, a renowned composer, was the author of its songs. However, it could also be a reference to Solomon, its kind of glorious king the groom represents, so we don't know for sure. Again, with history, you never know for sure unless you were actually there to witness. The songs are arranged to tell the courtship story of a man and woman, and their marriage, described as a royal wedding, and its consummation, and of the beginning of their new life together. As a short introduction, the book presents 6 episodes, each typically ending with a reference to the friends of the man and woman. This may refer to others attending the wedding to join in the celebration. Together, the songs celebrate the delights of married love and the beauty of the human body, using vivid imagery from the natural world to show that these things are part of the creation that God declared very good. And this is good. Chapter 1. It even has she, friends, he, who's speaking. Solomon's Song of Songs, Chapter 1. This is she speaking. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes, your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the young women love you. Take me away with you, let us hurry, that the king bring me into his chambers. Friends say, we rejoice and delight in you, we praise your love more than wine. She says, how right they are to adore you. Dark am I, yet lovely, daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Do not stare at me because I am dark, because I am darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had to neglect. Tell me, you whom I love, where you graze your flock and where you rest your sheep at midday. Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends? It's saying, why should I not be raised above them? Friends say, you do not know, most beautiful woman. Follow the tracks of the sheep and graze your young goats by the tents of the shepherds. Finally, the groom says, I liken you, my darling, to a mare among Pharaoh's chariot horses. Your cheeks are beautiful with earrings, your neck with strings of jewels. We'll make you earrings of gold studded with silver. To which he replies, while the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My beloved is to me a sachet of myrrh resting between my breasts. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En Gedi. He says, how beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful, your eyes are doves. She replies, how handsome you are, my beloved. Oh, how charming, and our bed is verdant. He says, the beams of our house are cedars. This goes right into chapter 2. She says, I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. He says, like a lily among thorns is my darling among the young women. She says, like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. Let him lead me to the banquet hall, and let his banner over me be love. Strengthen me with raisins, refresh me with apples, for I am faint with love. His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles, by the does of the field. Do not arouse and awaken until it so desires. In other words, don't awaken to love and get married until it's time. Listen, my beloved, look, here he comes, leaping across the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice. My beloved spoke and said to me, arise, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. See, the winter is past, the rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth, the season of singing has come. The cooing of doves is heard in our land. The fig tree forms its early fruit, the blossoming vines spread their fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. Which he replies, my dove, in the clefts of the rock, in the hiding places on the mountainside, show me your face, let me hear your voice. For your voice is sweet and your face is lovely. Catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, or vineyards that are in bloom. She says, my beloved is mine. and I am his. He browses among the lilies, until the day breaks and the shadows flee. Turn, my beloved, and be like a gazelle, or like a young stag on the rugged hills. All night long on my bed, I looked for the one my heart loves. I looked for him, but did not find him. I will not get up. I will get up now and go about the city, through its streets and squares. I will search for the one my heart loves. So I looked for him, but did not find him. The watchmen found me as they made their rounds in the city. Have you seen the one my heart loves? Scarcely had I passed them when I found the one my heart loves. I held him and would not let him go, till I had brought him to my mother's house, to the room of the one who conceived me. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse and awaken until it so loved until it so desires. Again, tell them about this love as you feel, but do not push it, do not rush into it, do not do it until it's time. Until that love is awoken and the desire towards the one you love has been awoken. So, otherwise, don't go about sleeping around, hoping to find love and satisfaction and all that until it's time with the one you're supposed to be with. So it's pushing the celibacy until the virginity until you find the one you love. Is what it's referencing. She goes on to say, who is this coming up from the wilderness like a column of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and incense, and made from all the spices of the merchant? Look, it is Solomon's carriage, escorted by 60 warriors, the noblest of Israel, all of them wearing the sword, all experienced in battle, each with his sword at his side, prepared for the terrors of the night. King Solomon made for him himself the carriage. He made it of wood of Lebanon. Its posts he made of silver, its base of gold. Its seat was upholstered with purple, its interior inlaid with love. Daughters of Jerusalem, come out and look, you daughters of Zion. Look on King Solomon wearing the crown with which his mother crowned him, on the day of his wedding, the day his heart rejoiced. Chapter 3, chapter 4. He says, how beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from the hills of Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep just shorn, coming up from the washing. Each has its twin. Not one of them is alone. Your lips are like a scarlet ribbon. Your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like the halves of a pomegranate. Your neck is like the Tower of David, built with courses of stone. On it hang 1,000 shields, all of them shields of warriors. Your breasts are like two fawns, like twin fawns of a gazelle that browse through among the lilies. Until the day breaks and the shadows flee, I will go to the mountain of myrrh and to the hill of incense. You are altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you. Come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon. Descend from the crest of Amana, from the top of Senir, the summit of Hermon, from the lions' dens and the mountain haunts of leopards. You have stolen my heart, my sister, my bride. You have stolen my heart. With one glance of your eyes and with one jewel of your necklace. How delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. How much more pleasing is your love than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume more than any spice. Your lips drop sweetness as the honeycomb, my bride. Milk and honey are under your tongue. The fragrance of your garments is like the fragrance of Lebanon. You are a garden locked up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. Your plants are an orchard of pomegranates with choice fruits, with henna and nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with every kind of incense tree, with myrrh and aloes and all the finest spices. You are a garden fountain, a well of flowing water, streaming down from Lebanon. Which she replies, awake, north wind, and come, south wind, blow on my garden, that its fragrance may spread everywhere. Let my beloved come into his garden and taste its choice fruits. Inviting him, basically, into herself. So, it's also getting a sense of Psalm 1 man, Proverbs 31 woman, the Alpha, the Omega, which Jesus said he was the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, i.e., physical representation of man and woman together as one in him. So we will leave it there. I don't want to get too long here. And then we will finish this up easily next time, picking up him. It's referencing Lebanon. On this particular bride, he had many brides, many wives, which was not uncommon back then, but he was not supposed to take foreign wives, which he did. He was not supposed to worship them, or he built temples to those foreign gods, and then he started to worship them, most likely to just appease his wife, foreign wife. But these are things he was not supposed to do by command of God, and he did. So this is one of the ways he failed God. So he was not perfect. And he had asked for wisdom and knowledge, which God gave him, But he didn't ask for God's wisdom and knowledge. That's a mistake. He asked for discernment of God's wisdom and knowledge, not for wisdom, your own wisdom and knowledge. That's self-idolatry. And that's why he failed in many ways. So we'll finish this up in the next one. It's really a nice way to perform a wedding ceremony if you're having a wedding ceremony. To do this. Just be yourselves, speak from your heart before God, not to be witnessed by another human being. And that's the spiritual marriage. God blesses it. He knows the truth of your heart, and He will bless that. Not by some license, not some piece of paper, not paying money to somebody or to a state. Perform a ceremony of witness, not needed. If you speak from your heart to the other person, and you speak from their heart to you, you do it before God, He blesses that union. You do it with others, all the other ways, the traditional ways, and you're not true in your heart. It doesn't matter how much money you paid, what you said. He hasn't blessed that union. If He hasn't blessed it, it's never truly a marriage, and therefore no adultery. Adultery would happen in the eyes of man. It hasn't happened in the eyes of God because you were never married. There's fornication. He has not blessed that marriage. So stay safe, mask up, peace Christ, God bless.